Launching today, Solaris Offworld Combat is a team-based VR arena shooter from First Contact Entertainment, the studio behind the lauded Firewall 0 Hour from 2018. This time around, the studio wants to deliver a fast-paced experience that anyone can pick up and play. My preview of the game reveals a strong technical merit, but a potential clash between casual and competitive ambitions. Thematically, Solaris Offworld Combat presents itself to players as a sort of future sport, where competitors would jump into virtual arenas and duke it out for the top place on the leaderboards. And that's exactly what the game hopes to accomplish: foster a level of hardcore competition which keeps players and teams coming back for more. And while the studio managed to attract a hardcore player base to its prior title, Firewall, in many ways, Solaris is doing the opposite of what resonated with that community. Firewall is a team-based PSVR milsim shooter with a slow tactical pace, and that comes with the sort of mechanics you'd expect: loadouts, attachments, perks, reloads, ADS aiming, recoil control, etc. The sort of mechanics which give room for a deeper level of gameplay and strategy that goes beyond the act of putting your reticle on another player and pulling the trigger. Solaris, on the other hand, is designed first and foremost for ease of play and a run-and-gun pace. The studio says its goal is to get anyone and everyone quickly into the action and deliver a point-and-shoot experience. And that's apparently meant removing pretty much all of Firewall's deeper gameplay elements. Solaris has no reloading, loadouts, attachments, recoil control, and weapons project their reticle into the world, so there's no need to aim down sights. Rather than the slower, more tactical pace of Firewall, which gives an advantage to players who get themselves into the right position ahead of time, Solaris seems to expect that players will be constantly moving, mostly using the thumbstick to strafe and juke, rather than expecting much bodily movement, like physically crouching or peeking around corners. This breed of run-and-gun gameplay is par for the course in non-VR arena shooters, and on the surface, Solaris has done a commendable job of translating the main tropes into VR. Player movement is quite fast compared to most VR games, even allowing players to slide for a few feet to stay behind cover while moving. Everyone starts with the same basic pistol with unlimited ammo, and can pick up weapons by walking over pads on the ground. Those weapons have limited ammo and disappear once they're empty. Respawns are fast and time to kill is low. Shooting is of the point-and-shoot variety with no bullet travel or drop. It's all undeniably functional. After playing a few matches, it felt like I was playing a very cool version of VR laser tag. But it's not clear to me yet whether the game has a level of depth needed to foster that competitive allure that First Contact hopes will keep the game buzzing with a stable player base. After all, laser tag is fun, but it's not something most people are going to do week after week. That's not to say that Solaris doesn't have, or won't eventually be updated with, what it takes to bring out that high-level play, but there's a lot to prove. The most successful multiplayer VR shooter games so far have all been of the milsim variety, and have leaned into the nuanced weapon interactions and slower pace, which are a natural fit for VR. First Contact has taken the goal of ease of use so far that it's opted to make Solaris entirely free of two-handed interactions. In fact, I was surprised to find that my offhand in the game isn't even tracked. Even as I move my hand around, my virtual hand wouldn't respond to the motion at all, leaving me with the very awkward sensation that one of my arms was an extra appendage that I had no control over. Anyone that's heard my perspective on VR knows that I'm all for ease of use. Overly complex interactions can often be more frustrating than they are fun. But it's possible to go too simple as well. Half-Life Alyx simplified its weapons by making them single-handed only, but at least it used the player's offhand for reloading and other interactions like throwing grenades or opening doors. If anyone can figure out how to make it work, though, First Contact Entertainment is a good bet. The studio cut their teeth on Firewall 0 Hour, a game which after 2 years appears to still be going strong on PSVR. The studio says it's continuing to deliver content updates to the game, and has seen individual players pass 1,000 hours in the game. And it's still lauded as one of the best shooters and best multiplayer games on the system. First Contact's experience with Firewall shines through clearly in the Solaris presentation. It's built on Unreal Engine 4, and even on Quest the game is impressively sharp and runs very smoothly. And the studio is committed to running matches with dedicated servers. Ultimately, it's the Quest audience, a younger demographic than your average enthusiast PC VR user, that Solaris is likely targeted toward. The game's ease of entry and rapid-fire pace might be just the right combination for that group. Solaris launches today on Oculus Rift and Oculus Quest with support for cross-buy and cross-play. It'll launch on Steam and PSVR at some later date. First Contact is calling the launch a pre-season and expects to listen carefully to player feedback over the coming weeks. There's one caveat with the preseason, which is a bit odd for a team-based shooter. The preseason won't allow players to form teams with their friends. All matches will be comprised of random teams, and the ability to invite friends will be added at a later date.